Are you considering a vacation to Branson, Missouri in the off season? January, February? Wondering if anything is going to be open? Well, I'm going to talk about that and more right now. Welcome to TPF, Trips, Places, and Fun, where we talk about how to have family adventures both at home and when traveling. My name is John, and today I'm going to answer a question that a lot of people have. Is it worth it to travel to Branson, Missouri in the off season, January and February? My wife and I, we love to travel in various places when it's slowest. So we are targeting to go to Orlando during the off season, and the off season in Orlando is shrinking more and more each year, but there are still times to go when the crowds are going to be smaller. Well, in Branson, Missouri, there definitely is still an off season. The big Christmas season, which really is the biggest season in Branson. It's the time to come if you're able to. That season ends when Silver Dollar City closes right after the first of the year. Now, school usually starts back up maybe around January 6th, 7th, 8th, somewhere in there. And so there will still be people in town all the way up until that point because there's still stuff to do in town early January, but then everybody's gone. It is like a ghost town. So those of us that live here, it's really kind of strange because one day this place is going to be just booming. The very next day, as people are driving on out of here, it is just quiet. It's glorious, actually, as we get a little bit of a breather after all of the months and months of busyness. And of course, Amy and I, we own a business, and so we really feel that ourselves. But as January and February kick in, there are definitely still things to do. So I want to talk about some of what you can do in the off season. Number one, attractions. Now, there are several attractions that are going to be open. Now, you're going to always want to check online, do your research, because things change, of course, as we know. But there are several attractions that are typically open. For example, our two businesses, Escape Code and the Axe Game. Both of those businesses are open on the weekends during January and February. Bigfoot, which has video games and miniature golf and sky coasters and different things like that. It's going to be open. The Titanic Museum, just an amazing attraction here in Branson, Missouri. You also have the Hollywood Wax Museum, Promised Land Zoo, Ripley's Believe It or Not. I'd encourage you to go to Dogwood Canyon. It's open, and it's one of the most beautiful places to go in Branson. It's a must-do, and they have seasonal pricing during this time of the year, during January, during February. So you can check that out. Go to Dogwood Canyon. If you've never been, you can ride a Segway, you can ride a bike, you can walk, you can take a tram tour. There's a restaurant there, but you're going to be blown away with how beautiful that place is, just sitting there and looking at everything that is it's just stunning. It just really is. There's a massive tree house, and there's all sorts of different things that you can do at Dogwood Canyon. On your way back, or on a completely different day, visit Top of the Rock. Top of the Rock, they have the Cave and Nature Trail. We've done this several times, and you rent a golf cart, and you, at your leisure, you just cruise down this trail through nature, through the woods, over bridges and overlooking rivers and waterfalls, and then you actually ride your golf cart through a cave and come on out the other side and continue on with your trip. You've got to do that. Top of the Rock is really beautiful. Also, there's restaurants there, and you have Arnie's Barn, which is a kind of a Mexican kind of a restaurant, and really, really good. So do the golf cart tour and do the restaurant both in one day. So that's definitely something that can take up a good part of your day here in the off season. Hey, also in terms of a restaurant, Dobbin's Dining Room is our favorite restaurant in town. It's at the College of the Ozarks. That place is booked up continually throughout the season. So if, there have been many, many times when we're like, hey, let's go get something to eat. Let's go to Dobbin's Dining Room. We'll give them a call to get on the wait list, and they'll tell us it's a 2 or a 3 hour wait. And that is normal. It's absolutely normal for the wait to be long. But in the off season, you're going to be able to get in there a whole lot more easily. So Dobbins Dining Room, that's a definite must place to eat in Branson. So yeah, there's several attractions. I didn't mention all of them, of course. You could also go to Grand Country. Now, Grand Country, and I'll segue a little bit here into point number 2, which is shows. But at Grand Country, you have shows and attractions. So let's quickly talk about the attractions. You have Fun Spot, indoor mini golf. You have Splash Country Water Park. You have outdoor mini golf. There's a variety of things to do there at Grand Country in terms of attractions, but then also shows. Now, the Grand Jubilee there at Grand Country, they barely take a break at all after the Christmas season, and so they start back up in mid-January. Now, most of your other shows are going to start up either in February or March. So, for example, the Hay Goods, they're kicking it up again in February. Reza, you've got Dolly Parton Stampede, which is coming the end of February. Six, one of my favorite shows in town, Six, they start in March. Legends in Concert, February. And so go online and do a search for whatever shows that you're looking for, and you're going to find a whole bunch that are open in February. Not many in January. Not many shows are going to be open in January. There's a few, but most of them are going to be, or many of them will be open in February. Most of them will be open starting in March, okay? So that's shows. Number 3 is shopping. Shopping happens year-round. You got Branson Landing. Of course, they've got shorter hours during the off-season, but all the stores are open there. You can go to Branson Landing. You can go to Tanger, which is one of the favorite places for people to shop here in town, outlet malls. You've got various antique stores and gift shops. You can go downtown Branson, walk around. Stores are open all throughout downtown Branson. You can drive up and down Highway 76 and find all sorts of different stores that are open. And speaking of that, so that shopping's number 3. Number 4, speaking of driving up and down Highway 76, you're not going to have any traffic. This is the best part of it all for us. And so for us that live here, we know the back roads. So even though there's traffic everywhere, we can get anywhere in Branson in less than 10 minutes usually. But now we don't even have to worry about the back roads. We just kick in right down Highway 76. Nobody around at all. You're just cruising. And so there's no traffic. There's none of that bumper to bumper. There's none of that. I mean, in the summertime or Christmas time, it is slow going. I mean, you are just waiting and waiting and waiting. It's a very, very slow crawl if you are on Highway 76 during the season. But in the off season, no traffic at all. All right, number 5, lower cost lodging. I'm going to let you do the research on this. I didn't take time to go and check out all the different, pricing and things like that. But just know that lodging is going to be a lot cheaper in the off season than it is during the season. And you can go to some beautiful resorts like Big Cedar Lodge or Chateau on the Lake. You can go to different hotels, vacation rentals. In fact, I'd encourage you to check out vacation rentals. And, a lot of these vacation rentals are owned by individuals, and they know that nobody's really coming to town in January and February, and you might get a phenomenal deal. You could rent a place for 2 weeks at the price that you would usually pay for a few days. And so I'd encourage you to check that out. But definitely much lower cost lodging, especially personally owned vacation rentals. All right, so check that out. Number six, there's a slower pace. And so this is for people that love just to chill. You want to go find your vacation rental or your resort, and you just want to relax. And you don't want people all over the place. You want to stay in a really nice, maybe 2-bedroom villa or a condo, or maybe you want to stay down on the lake in a little fishing cabin and fish on Lake Taneycomo, or it's a slow pace. You don't have to always be doing something and running through, from theme park to attraction to this to that. You can just relax. That's not something that my family is good at. Whenever we're on vacation, we are more tired by far than we are normally. And but a lot of people are the opposite. They like to relax. So definitely there is a slower pace in January and February. All right, number seven, you need to keep this in mind, that Silver Dollar City is closed until March. And you can look up the exact date. Of course, it's different every year, but it's typically mid-March or so. And not only is Silver Dollar City closed, but you're going to have many different things that are closed. So you have to ask yourself, what exactly are you looking to do? What kind of a vacation is this? If it's the Silver Dollar City, Sight and Sound Theater, Shepherd of the Hills type of vacation, well, then those are all going to be closed and you're not going to be able to enjoy that kind of a vacation. So keep that in mind. So there are things that will not open up until the season kicks back in. Okay, so do your research and think about that. And then number 8, lastly, right here, keep in mind that if you're thinking about coming in the off season, spring break, which is really kind of the whole month of March, is busy, very, very busy. And it's interesting here in Branson, January and February, very slow. March is very busy because of spring break. We have school groups all over the place that are coming. And depending on where people live, spring break happens at a different time during March. And so March is going to be pretty crazy. So if you're looking for a slow pace, you're not going to find that in March. But then if you want to, if you're free in April and in the first part of May, basically any time that school is in, you can know that this area is going to be pretty slow. January and February being the slowest because it's after Christmas, it's cold out, and everybody is typically doing other things. People start thinking about some vacations, as May comes closer, and then it's definitely June, July, and August. Huge crazy months. September, people are back in school, but then you have a lot of tour buses that are coming in, and people, and on the weekends very busy. And so this is this kind of this ebb and this flow throughout the year. But the purpose of this video is to address what we call the off season, which is specifically January and February. So yeah, you can absolutely have a really good time here in Branson, Missouri in the off season, January and February. If you do your research, find out what you want to do, you're going to save money. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to really have your pick of many different places to stay, and you're going to be able to drive around town without honking at everybody. All right, there you have it. If you like videos like this, it would mean a lot. We would love it. We would love to stay connected with you. Give us a thumbs up. That makes us feel good. But definitely subscribe. That is the way to always stay connected, and then ding the bell if you want to be notified every time that we upload a new video, which is happening 2, 3, 4 times every single week. And we do focus a lot on Branson. We'll focus a lot on Orlando, but we're also focusing on general how-to tips, travel tips and tricks and hacks and things that we can all do to get out there and enjoy traveling, especially as a family. And we're big into family. All right, there you have it. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you next time. Hope to see you here in Branson real soon.